Hey guys, what's up? My name's Paul, and this is the Pherbig channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's awesome that you found me. If you have the chance, please just click the subscribe button because it costs you a click and it brings me some extra cash, and I like eating and stuff, and that's really cool. Anyway, this is kind of like a news channel where I tell you what I think is important, what's going on in the world, and what I think is important is a lot of the stuff that's actually going on in the world and not so much celebrity news. So that being said, it is my opinion, trust me, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the world. In ridiculously stupid news, the movie 50 Shades of Grey is coming out on Valentine's Day. Now, I saw an article that said there are 20 minutes of sex in a 100-minute movie. 1/5 of the movie is sex. In my book, and in any sane person's book, that means they're releasing a porn on Valentine's Day. I've heard some people say it's not a porn, it's a porn. 20 minutes of sex is pornography. And that's an excellent way to start off and drift into something more real. And North Korea fired a couple of missiles into the ocean to see if they'd work. They were short-range missiles, and they hit the ocean. So North Korea definitely hit something, but also keep that in mind because, fun things happen when countries flex their fists, and when you constantly berate a country for being less than your other country, tensions rise, right? As a side note, they actually found a mummified monk who was in a meditation position, which I saw and I just thought that was cool because, the first thing I pictured was they found a mummified monk in a meditating position, so he's just sitting there and they have him all like opened up and everything, and the monk just goes, looks up at all the scientists. I can just totally picture that. Anyway, the Dalai Lama's doctor, so a very Buddhist doctor guy, said that the monk is actually in a very deep meditative trance. He's not actually dead. 200 years old, and he's saying he's not dead. I don't know how that works. It'd be awesome if meditation worked to that degree. I believe some people might be able to obtain it. If Chris Angel can float, maybe people can meditate for 200 years. Anyway, kind of cool stuff. Anyway, they released an article, so I thought, yeah, I gotta mention that because that's just awesome. And it totally is what I was thinking was gonna happen. And in more world news, a couple of things are happening in Germany right now. The Chancellor Merkel is actually talking about doing a Ukraine peace summit, trying to get that to happen this Wednesday. So that's going to be happening. So hopefully some peace comes out of this Ukraine thing, because as it escalates, there is a very good chance we'll be having World War III, and that would just suck because world wars are not fun. Just another thing to think about, just keep it in mind that there are tensions in Russia. There are tensions in Ukraine. People flee cities in Ukraine right now because there is war, not quite war, fighting, shelling, bombs, explosions, shrapnel, and death. So maybe not war so much as just explosions. Whatever you want to take that on. Just don't forget it because that's actually happening. 50 Shades of Grey is coming out. But there are some things that are a little more important. Anyway, another thing happening in Germany is an SS soldier, that is Nazi Germany SS, stands for Socialslager. Just joking. That's not what it stands for. An SS soldier is being tried. He's 93 years old, the article said, and he's being tried for the 300,000 deaths he caused in Auschwitz. He was like the bookkeeper, is what they called him. And he recorded all the banknotes and everything of all the Jews that came in, and made it look like there was not as many Jews entering the camp as actually were. Ecuador is actually trying to turn all of its money into electronic money. They're actually trying to push that through, which could be pretty cool if it works out. With all the hacks that are going on, you would think that a government with completely electronic money would be either a poor choice or a bad choice, because there's really not a way that makes that sound like it's going to work out well. In awesome news, Iceland is building the first Norse temple to the Norse gods in years, like thousands. Well, not thousands, but very long time. Anyway, so it's totally awesome that they're building an Icelandic temple where you can worship Thor and and Frigg and like Odin. But yeah, so I mean they're releasing that, and with like the priests of the temple are saying like, yeah, nobody really believes that there's a one-eyed giant god with a spear and two ravens on his shoulders riding an eight-legged horse. That's in the article below. He's like, but they like having the stories and like them being recognized. And mysterious dirty rain is falling in Washington, in eastern Washington. And apparently there's rain that's actually falling, and it's like ashy and cloudy and nasty. Now I bring this up mainly because the article that I was referred to this article by another website, and that website was saying, is this linked to Fukushima? And I think it's very prudent to remember that nuclear radiation and half-life, if you played the game you should probably know something about this, but half-life is how long it takes for radiation to break down until it's safe. And 3 years ago, Fukushima released a massive, massive cloud into the atmosphere of radioactive material. Now that half-life is going to slowly break down. And usually with radioactive waste, it's a long time to break down to half as radioactive as it was. So keeping that in mind, I'm a little worried that there might be some radiation flying on the coast. And you shouldn't forget things like Fukushima. And Yemen's rebel leader took over the country a little bit ago. He was actually saying that, this is our country now, this is what it's going to be, we're going to make a few changes, see how it goes. Apparently it's one of Al-Qaeda's biggest headquarter countries. There's a ton of Al-Qaeda troops in Yemen. And with money news, you should be knowing that Alan Greenspan, who's like a financial wizard, well, he's been saying that Greece might actually need to leave the Eurozone, that it might be the best that Greece leaves the Euro. Now, if you don't know, Greece is part of the European Union and uses the Euro as one of its monetary units. Now, if Greece pulls out, there's a chance that other countries will pull out of the Euro as well, and then that might crumble until only a few countries still sustaining the Euro, which means that it will affect the dollar, and the dollar might fall a little bit. Also in awesome news, and awesome because it's hilarious, not so good because of other things. A couple of prisoners, 28 actually, escaped from a Brazilian prison because 3 women seduced the guards, gave them whiskey that was spiked with a drug. The guards fell asleep, and literally the women took the keys, released 28 prisoners, and walked out the front door. But it's pretty hilarious because 3 women seduced guards, and 28 prisoners escaped. I've never heard anything like that before. And technology is at the point where Samsung, in part of its terms and conditions, one of the things they mention there is that beware that anything you say could potentially be recorded by your TV and sent to a company for advertising. They said anything personal. Let me include the quote here. Please be aware that if your spoken words include personal or other sensitive information, that information will be among the data captured and transmitted to a third party. Which means that if you say anything, it'll be sent to a third party. Who's that third party? How should you know? It's a third party. It's not Samsung's job to know who the third party is. It's just a third party. Anyway, special thanks to Sesame Street. This awesome Oscar the Grouch shirt. They make a bunch of those. They're super strong, super big. So check those out. As far as YouTube video goes, check out Epic Rap Battle of Manliness by Rhett and Link. I'll include that in the links below. It's really awesome, really good. It doesn't have as many views as it should because it's actually hilarious. They have some great lines in there. They put some time to it. Check them out. Thanks for watching. Like I said, please subscribe because it feeds me, educates me, and it lets me entertain myself. I really appreciate all that. Anyway, have a great day and talk to you later.